talk a little bit about Elizabeth Woodville, the White Queen of the Wars of the Roses period, the wife of Edward IV. I was not really that familiar with her, though I had seen some historical documentaries, heard some stories about that time period. It was always quite abstract to me as an American, and I certainly didn't really think of having any personal connection to her or that time period. However, back in January of this year, I was watching the miniseries, The White Queen, and something about that series really just resonated with me, and I liked how the characters, the historical real life people, were portrayed, the choice of casting, and a lot of the elements of production. And for some reason, it inspired me to look at my family history at familysearch.org, which is one of the free websites about ancestry. And after parsing through thousands of names for a couple of days, taking me in directions I didn't really expect, all of a sudden I found Jacquetta of Luxembourg, her mother, and Elizabeth Woodville, an illegitimate connection to Edward IV. Later, um, finding out that I was directly descended from Elizabeth of York, their daughter, via Henry VII and Elizabeth of York's daughter, Margaret. So I was just stunned by all these connections, and I've always had a belief in past lives or some kind of ancestral memory, but it really got enhanced with all of this. I always just was under the impression that I had German peasant and Swedish peasant roots only, but it ended up being a lot more noble than what I expected. However, I suspect just about any of you that happen to start that search for yourself will find similar, because every generation you go back, the number of grandparents or great grandparents you have doubles. So if you go back like 20 generations, as it would be for that period 500 years ago, you have like 500,000 and onward and upward, plus direct ancestors behind you. So anybody that you find is a very small part of your ancestry. But one thing that kind of intrigued me further is like the idea of having the possibility of contact or some kind of ancestral memory through some of these people. So I did go through a couple of meditation type videos on YouTube where you contact your ancestors. And a lot of it you'll never know if you are partly successful, if this is really an ancestral connection, your mind's elaborate ways of fabricating memories or reconstructing assumptions that you already have or biases you already have. But I tried it a few times, and I really think that I may have been successful in getting through to possibly her or someone else in that time period. I'm considering doing a live about that for any people who are really interested in the Wars of the Roses, ancestry, like past life connections, anything that's more of this new age vibe, but specifically with the Woodvilles, the Wars of the Roses, the medieval period in mind. Some of you are subscribers, some of you are stumbling upon this content because you're interested in Elizabeth Woodville. If you would be interested in me like kind of recounting what happened or attempting it again, please comment, subscribe, like, do some kind of indication so that I have a sense of what um, the level of interest is to see if it's like really worth delving in further. So I thank you for stopping by, and also I hope to connect with some of you who are probably also aware of Elizabeth Woodville due to an ancestral connection. You've seen the White Queen probably, or read other titles of Philippa Gregory over the years. Let me know your thoughts. I'd be glad to connect about it, and I can produce more content if there is a real desire for that. Thanks.